Hey guys, Martin here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we're going to be taking a look at the INT Team Universe 7. They've got their EZA today, alongside the Jiren and the Frieza and 17. These guys, of course, technically are Android 17, and then brackets Team Universe 7. But yeah, these guys, level 10 links, Rainbow, we're going to be checking them out. Just like the Frieza and 17, these guys were underappreciated on release. I mean, I say underappreciated, they really weren't that great. I mean, these guys were better than Frieza and 17, and of course back then they relied on being on the full reps of Universe 17, but that's what the 6th anniversary was all about. So they were decent and definitely usable, but they fell off like fairly quickly, unlike Frieza and 17, who pretty much were never good. And now, of course, the tables have somewhat turned, and whilst these guys, they still got a very good EZA, but I think Frieza and 17 might be better. We're going to see. I've not tried them out myself, of course, until now. So Reps of Universe 7 category 4 key and 170 is their leader skill. They also have Super Int 4 key and 100%. So could be useful for some things. Battlefield, certain missions in certain events, stuff like that. Their 12 key super attack. Now it's an unarmed super attack, so fun against Kid Buu. Massively raise attack for 1 turn. Colossal damage to the enemy and raise allies attack and defense by 30% for 1 turn. So every additional super they get is raising all allies attack and defense by 30% for the rest of the turn, which is very good. Their 18 key super is mega colossal damage, raise allies attack and defense by 30% and crit chance by 7% for 2 turns. So they will be directly supporting the rotation after them. So you could use them as a floating support unit. It means their 12 key super attack effect to support the rest of the rotation doesn't really do anything unless there's an event where there's like an AoE in slot 3 or something. But the 18 key is supporting the entire next rotation, which is really good. So then they have attack and defense 177. They get key 1 up to 5 and damage reduction 7% up to 35. Chance to crit 7% up to 35 per reps of Universe 7 ally on the team. So you need 5 reps of Universe 7 allies on the team to get that full passive. It does include them, and obviously it includes the friend. So technically with a friend character you have 7 units in total. 5 of those need to be reps of Universe 7, and then they'll have their full buff. They get an additional 77% attack and defense and additional 17% damage reduction, 17% chance to crit when there are 5 or more reps of Universe 7 allies on the team. So as long as you have those full 5 characters, not only are they getting the 35% part of the build up from their passive, but you also get that extra 17% on top as well. So even at a bare minimum, they have what, 52% damage reduction. They randomly change orbs of a certain type, excluding Int, to Rainbow when HP is 77% or less once only. Then they get an additional attack and defense 77% when key is 17 or more, another 77% attack and defense, and get an additional super when key is 22 or more. And of course, to help that out, they're creating these rainbow orbs. They get 3 extra key per rainbow orb, so 4 key per rainbow orb. Then they also give key 1 and attack and defense 7% for all allies, self-excluded, as well as an additional 7% crit chance per rainbow key sphere obtained. So if you're picking up, say, 3 rainbow orbs, not only do they get tons of extra key, but they give the other 2 allies on the rotation, just not themselves, 3 key and 21% extra attack and defense. So very, very good. Their super attack effect, whilst they don't technically directly get defense from their super attack effects, like it doesn't say, you know, greatly raise defense, they also get the 30%, right, from that. Then an additional super will give them another 30% and so on. So let's see, we're starting off 256k defense. We've got Tournament of Power, Fist Battle and Legendary Power active. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of rainbow orbs. We didn't get a great rainbow orb change here, unfortunately. So yeah, that is a shame. But we can get, well, we don't quite get 22 key. Yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate. Not the best rotation. We will get a better rotation. They share a lot of links with MVP 17 and as well the Tournament of Power androids, so we will see a better rotation for them upcoming, of course, as well. And now, despite, you know, Frieza being on the card, unlike Frieza and 17, they are a superclass unit, which means they will get the 15% buff when we use the Tech UI Goku's domain as well. So these guys still have a lot of potential in order for buffs. It's a bit of a shame that there is RNG. Like, they create their own rainbow orbs, but they are kind of relying on them. Now, I suppose we could have brought a slightly different team build. 12.7 million for their first super here. We could have brought the Blue Evolution Vegeta and Blue Kaioken physical LR, because they also create rainbow orbs, and whilst they need them as well, having multiple units that create rainbow orbs obviously means that there's usually more than enough to go around. So, but again, like, well, I talked about it in the Frieza and 17 video, when it comes to the most optimal reps of Universe 17, I would say for most cases I would probably run physical Blue Evolution Vegeta and Blue Kaioken Goku over STR UI Goku, because I don't like too many characters that rely on dodging. And obviously with double Tech UI, AGL UI and INT Blue Evolution Vegeta, I mean, they are like, you know, 100% you are putting them on the team, right? So that's 4 of your, or 3 of your slots filled already. So I think it's one of those things where I'd have to try them out a fair bit in some different events. I think it maybe just depends on like the typing of the enemy. So like if you're fighting a physical boss, maybe you would bring STR UI Goku instead of Team Universe 7. But then if you're fighting a tech boss, you would bring the Team Universe 7. But the reps of Universe 17 is just so insane now. Like, it's really funny, the 9th anniversary made superheroes basically the best team in the game. And of course, there's a lot of crossover, because basically all the reps of Universe 7 characters, apart from Team Universe 7 and Frieza and 17, because of the inclusion of Frieza, they're all on superheroes anyway, so there's a lot of crossover there. But I think the optimal superhero team, like if you're running double Beast Gohan, you're probably not running all of the reps of Universe 7 characters, because especially with their links, you're probably going to be wanting to run Beast Gohan on main rotation on both rotations if you're running the double Beast team. So then some of these characters lose out on their best link partners if you're breaking up the rotations like that. So that is something to bear in mind, of course. Double super on the Gamma's turn here. How do I want to do this? So we've got 361. We get Android Assault, Infinite Energy from these guys, as well as Shocking Speed. Yeah, because it's you don't have Shocking Speed. So very good rotation for them. I guess we could... I mean, we have the damage reduction. We're going to be able to eat a normal. Maybe I'll just do this. Even though it's a bit weird to float off that UI, because obviously he's so good. But we'll get the 2 rainbow orbs here. And then we can't get 7 orbs for the androids, unfortunately. But post super, they have damage reduction. They should be able to tank a normal here from the Gammas perfectly fine. So there's a dodge straight up, and then 19 million. So 19 million. Bear in mind, of course, this super now has buffed everyone's attack and defense by 30% for 2 turns, as well as a bit of crit chance. Then we get an additional super, so 13 mil, and now this has buffed everyone's attack and defense by another 30%. And then we only got an additional normal, but that's a huge buff for everybody else now on the rest of the rotation. We have the 51% damage reduction because we have all the reps allies. So how much damage are they taking from the Gamma super here? Yeah, double digit damage. Okay. Because bear in mind, their attack and defense went up by 30% twice, and then we have the 51% damage reduction as well. So pretty good. The INT androids here should have no problem now with their post super defense and their damage reduction. Yep, they take double digit damage. And then UI Goku, my one and the friend one for this run are 55%, because I didn't want to bring a rainbow UI Goku and have him like steal the show. So even him hitting that hard, bearing in mind with the TOP androids, he's only sharing Fierce Battle, Shocking Speed and Tournament of Power, which, you know, Shocking Speed and Tournament of Power are basically key links. They give a little bit of extra stats, but they're mostly there for key. So obviously we're not getting, you know, the craziest performance turn from UI Goku, who we should float off now, because obviously we're going to have the other Tech UI getting floated as well. So I'm going to use his active skill here so that we get the domain active, because as I said, unlike Frieza and 17, Team Universe 7 are a superclass character, which means they actually do get the buff from Goku's domain. So the enemy does get it as well, because of course the Gammas are superclass, but we'll go ahead and do this. This is going to be an absolutely nutty turn. I guess I don't really need to go ham on the extra. I want to make sure we kill on this turn. So I think I probably will just use, let me make sure the animations are off just so we can get through this a bit quicker. But we'll go ahead and do this. And then, yeah, we're definitely killing them on this turn. I guess we might as well save Vegeta's then, I suppose. So we'll do that, and then he's going to change orbs other than int to rainbow. So let's grab just those two. So we've got some int orbs there, but there's also a bunch of other different orbs on the field. Because that's the thing, we don't want to... Well, I suppose to be fair, it doesn't matter. We're going to end the phase, aren't we? So all the orbs are going to change. So never mind. But Blue Evolution Vegeta will finish off Gammas here, I think. Depending on whether we actually get additional supers or not, which we did. So 12 mil. I don't think Vegeta's even fully built up at this point, but thanks to the buff from the domain, he obviously does a crazy amount of damage. And now we can see our Team Universe 7 again. So then now we're going to be getting the defensive buff from MVP 17, who gives them... Does he give them an extra link? I mean, he gives them solid support, which is an attack link. Just unfortunately, there's no... Oh yeah, he gets... Okay, nice. He gets the extra link from them anyway. So 479k defense start of turn. Now, whilst that is good, obviously we are going to be... in a bit of trouble if we get slot 1 supered here, I think. But we'll grab... Let me just double check their thing here. So we're going to get the... I suppose it depends on... Yeah, we are going to get the key. I'm assuming they get that. Do you get that once the key orbs are locked in? Because technically they're already at 17 key. They're actually already at 22 key. So I'm not sure how that works. Like, there's nowhere on the rotation we can put them where they have less key. But let's just do that. So that locks in how many orbs we've got. I guess it checks for that when they attack, right? So that is another thing that makes them not an ideal slot 1 unit, I suppose. But, I mean, what can you do? I guess grab these. I'd be really disappointed if we eat a super in slot 1, because I do really want to see what they're going to do here. But here we go. So let's see. Gammas. Normal attacks do double-digit damage, which would be expected considering how much defense we have and 51% damage reduction. Yeah, 24.4 million. Bear in mind that these guys, for the most part, like, even though they do buff the rest of the rotation with their 12 key, because their 18 key super is a 2-turn buff, I would probably just use these guys as a 3rd slot floating unit. But at the same time, in situations like this, where you are able to just survive in slot 1, the massive buff that they give to everybody else, because now MVP 17 and the TOP androids have a 60% attack and defense buff on this turn. Like, MVP 17 wasn't even built up and he just doesn't have to worry about taking damage. And then these guys, whilst we didn't get all their orbs, they obviously have post super damage reduction. Like, they're going to be fine here as well. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. I guess we don't want to be floating off the UIs anymore, although saying that, I'm not going to risk a dodge or die situation here with putting AGL UI Goku in slot 1, so I guess we'll just do this. We've got a ton of int orbs, although we're going to finish the phase here again anyway, so it doesn't matter. Blue Evolution Vegeta, of course, just an absolute beast, tanking in slot 1 with the domain buff active. So yeah, he's just going to drop a bomb here, 28 mil. Guaranteed crit because he's at 24 key. So yeah, big damage, and then the 12 key super to finish them off. So Team Universe 7, like, if you can get away with, like, especially if there's turns where there just isn't going to be an attack in slot 1, so you know it's safe to put them there, like, those extra buffs that they give to the rest of the rotation can be pretty crazy when you think about, like, some of the characters that we could be running and who could be on rotation with them. So the sketchy thing here is I really do worry about you a little bit, but I guess to be fair, he's going to be getting the... I don't want to use all the rainbow orbs. I mean, I could do this. What's the chances that he's going to super attack in slot 1? Watch him super attack in slot 1 here immediately. But do that. And then just think UI Goku's going to get all of these buffs from the active skill from these from the super attack effects from these guys. So yeah, Team Universe 7 definitely seem very, very good. Obviously, for the sake of the showcase, I'm running MVP 17 for the links. As I said, the optimal Team Universe 17 probably doesn't include him, but these guys could easily be a floating slot 3 unit. They hold their own. Their 18 key super gives a buff to the next rotation, so they are essentially still fulfilling that support unit role, even if they're not giving the buff to the rest of the rotation by being in slot 3, of course. But I mean, consistently we've seen them get turns here where we've done a couple of supers. Now we've done a third super, so UI Goku in slot 3 now has a 90% buff to his stats from these guys getting their super attacks off. So he's at 7.2, which, you know, isn't crazy, but again, he's 55%, and, you know, the Team Universe 7 not exactly his best link partner. And of course, you know, UI Goku, as we know, his defense all comes down to his like counters and everything, right? So let's go ahead and I guess we just activate your domain now as well. Although I think this is the last phase, right? So I don't think we even get to I don't think we survive to, well, I say we, I don't think Gamma 1 here actually survives anyway. So I guess we can just go ahead and do this. UI Goku, of course, has a 100% chance to dodge on this turn, and then he's just going to immediately kill Gamma 1 with a counter attack. So there you go, Int LR Team Universe 7, very, very strong, very great addition to this Reps of Universe 17, which is just absolutely cracked now. I'm going to do a video, I don't know whether to do 2 of them separately and then kind of talk about it afterwards, or just have them as the same video, which will be quite long, so you guys can let me know what you think. But superhero versus Reps of Universe 7, which team is the best team in the game now? And I think for the actual gameplay, I'm just going to take both teams, like what I can consider the best build, or at least that I can make, for both of those teams, and do like stage 2 of Cell Max, Beast Gohan, and then maybe like Blue Gogeta, the last 2 stages of the Blue Zone, and just see how well they, I mean, those teams should crush those events, and just kind of see which team like does it better. I think, to be fair, with the Reps team, the biggest downfall is having the occasional turns where like the UI Gokus could not dodge a big super and then you die, depending on how the turn is set up. But I mean, obviously depending on when the domains are going off for the tech UIs, you're probably going to end up being fine. AGL UI Goku and Blue Evolution Vegeta, of course, if their revival conditions are up, then you're not going to have to worry about it that much either. So this team is just absolutely crazy. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.